welcome back, everybody, to this week's live episode of the DCL Duo podcast, brought to you by My Path Unwinding Travel and also our good friends from the DCL magazine.
DCL magazine.
It's finally here. We can finally say DCL magazine.
I know, it's real. It's here. It's amazing.
We could not be more excited. And a calendar. A calendar.
And a calendar. We could not have got, honestly, you guys, we could not have got here without you and being such great cheerleaders and sharing our message with our float test issue and everything. And I do credit both of you with the idea that we should do a DCL calendar, because you put that in my mind about a year ago, and we've been like dropping little hints and surveying people to find out. So yes, there will be a calendar this year also for DCL. And I am personally designing it myself. Usually we have one of our designers do it, but I started the WDW magazine calendar 13, 14 years ago, and I was like, I'm doing the first DCL one. So if you don't like it, I guess you can complain.
If I don't like it, I'll blame Danny.
No, it looks great. We've already been going through our short list. I mean, we have thousands of photos at this point, and narrowing down what makes the best picture for a page in the calendar, what makes the best picture for a cover of the magazine, and we think, so it's a calendar, you need 12 stunning photos,
13 with the cover.
13 with the cover, but when you're trying to pick those out of a library of, I don't know, 8,000, 10,000 photos.
And balance it, right? We want to show the different ships. We want to show both the islands, different things. People love the chandeliers and the stern characters and like the pool deck. So how do we balance all of that? You'll have to
and with 8 ships, I mean, if you just did a glamour shot of each ship from the sort of in the water or docked in port or something like that, you'd already have 8 months. You'd only have 5 more pictures.
And you know what, though? It's really hard sometimes to get those like full ship photos, because if you think about the way the ships dock at the various ports, and if you ever go to a port like a tender port, those are great from a photography point of view, because that's a great opportunity to get like a big, beautiful full ship photo. But depending on how you dock and who else is in port, sometimes you can't see the outside of your own cruise ship.
Yeah. I mean, I know why they do it, but I wish they would let you bring a drone so you could get a cool shot of the ship. But I get why they won't.
I'm very curious. Oh, go ahead.
So I was gonna say, you almost need like one of those like lookout spots, like in Catalina. There's a great like lookout spot in like Norway. There was a great look. Like if you have one of those where you're from like up above, or where you can kind of see the ship import. I feel like that's the only way you can really get a great shot like that.
Yeah. So you have a great kind of I think you're calling it join the inaugural crew kind of promotion going on right now, and so tell folks how they can subscribe here.
So a little bit of background info. You guys on your podcast, you're familiar with this one. This was the float test issue, right? And we published this one under the WDW magazine umbrella. What's special now, what this inaugural launch is all about, is we are finally publishing DCL magazine as its own magazine title.
With a subscription. Which we call memberships, because we view our subscribers as members and part of our Disney family.
It's part of our community that we're building. And then so right now it's at our best price we've ever offered. It's our special launch. It's your annual subscription, which includes 2 issues of the magazine as well as a wall calendar.
We will be doing the magazine every 6 months, so twice a year, at least to start. And those will arrive in April and October every year. And then the calendar, I know it's very early in the year, but the calendar that you're actually signing up for now is one that will come next fall. It will be for 2027. So we
want to make sure everybody gets a full year out of their calendars. We don't want to be shipping something halfway through the year. But also, if you're thinking about, the release schedules of cruising itineraries, cruisers are already talking about their 2027 plans.
Yeah.
So getting the 2027 wall calendar to pencil in those sailing dates, I think it's perfect.
And it's really important for us to kind of get these early numbers so that we know how many to print. We will obviously print enough for everybody who's pre-ordered them, but then we'll print some extras for people who might want to get them as Christmas gifts and things in the fall. So it really helps us out as a small business to be able to do that. But that's basically our annual subscription package. You get both the issues and you get the calendar guaranteed. And that is on sale now until March 10th. If you order after March 10th, that first issue is not going to be part of your subscription. If you order on March 11th, you'll start with issue 2, which is not going to arrive until the fall. And right now, until the end of January, we're actually doing $10 off of that, but you could save even more if you use your DCL Duo code, which is at the bottom of the screen here if people are watching on YouTube. And next week on February 1st, we are releasing a different way to buy. So you'll still be able to buy the annual bundle, but you won't get that $10 savings. You can still use your DCL Duo code, but we'll also be offering a semi-annual subscription, which basically means you pay every 6 months. You pay, we send you an issue. You pay, we send you an issue. Both of them are auto-renewing, but it's easy peasy if you kind of just set it and forget it. Do the once a year charge.
Well, love it. And we've got to say, Brian, co-host and producer of the DCL Duo podcast, is set to have another article in the inaugural edition of the DCL magazine, and there's already ideas.
It is, or is this a secret?
It's up to you. It's up to you. I'm happy to share.
So we had a great issue, a great article contributed by Brian in the Float Test, a lovely story about Castaway Cay and the parasailing experience there. And so we invited Brian back to contribute more to the magazine. I just finished layout on your port excursion to Pulpit Rock in Norway, which I think is a really... it's a lovely story, but it's a beautiful destination and a really unique port excursion available through DCL. So for fans of the podcast, if you want to hear a little bit more insight from Brian himself about these port excursions, you can look forward to this Pulpit Rock piece in issue 1 of DCL magazine.
We are excited. I just want to say to all of our listeners out there, so a couple things. One is, if you can't see the scrolling bar because you're not watching us on YouTube, you're listening after the fact, head to dcl-magazine.com. And if you subscribe, you can take an additional 10% off using our code, which is all caps, DCL Duo. And we have a commitment here. We get solicited by a lot of different, like, jewelry. We got solicited by some AI travel company the other day, other travel agents, all kinds of stuff. We only sponsor and advertise stuff on our show that we use ourselves. So I have already subscribed. we're not just taking free issues from Danny and Stephanie. We subscribed to the DCL magazine.
Support a small business.
So head over there today and help them out, because this is truly great work. We love the magazine. Love the Float Test issue and can't wait for the first edition.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it. We know how passionate you guys are about DCL. Our team at the magazine, we're all big fans, and we want to celebrate and share in everyone's fandom. It means a lot to have your support, and I know your listeners will love our product if they try it out, because we're Disney fans just like all of them. And we're here. We want to experience the magic and the joy and talk about this thing that we all love to do so much.
I do see a couple comments coming in from the viewers talking about photos, and can I just address that for a moment?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We have a wonderful team of photographers that we work with for all the magazines, where we do all of our own original photography. There's very occasionally like a piece of concept art or something like that from Disney that we share, something historical from archives, but almost all of the photography we do and over on our social channels is all done in-house by our own team of professional photographers. And that is going to be the case also with DCL magazine. So yes, DCL magazine, but the DCL magazine calendar. So if you like what you see on our socials, if you like what you see in the magazines, that is also what you can expect in the calendar itself.
And at some point, we are going to follow through on this idea to do a show with Danny talking about how to take your best cruise photos on board, because
just message him. You'll be happy.
I'm
to.
available. If there's something that I like to talk about even more than Disney, it's talking about camera stuff. Those photos are really important. For some people, cruising is a rare and very special occasion, and you want to document and have those memories.
And we want you to feel like you're kind of having that moment of escape, right? Escape from the everyday when you're flipping through the magazine or the calendar. I see another comment that's, does the magazine ship to Canada? Yes, all of our magazines in print ship worldwide, and actually with DCL Magazine, in either of the subscription formats, it includes free shipping worldwide. So
I was going to be surprised if it didn't ship to Canada, because you all are based in Canada.
You guys are in Canada.
Outside of Toronto, for those of you who don't know. So yeah, we always do everything that we can for our Canadian fans.
Listen, your boot is showing, so we know.
Well, Stephanie, Danny, it's always a pleasure to have you on. I know we're going to have you on in the future. So thank you so much. We were so excited for this magazine. To all of our listeners out there, we really, really go over there, show them some love, subscribe today. We cannot wait. So stay warm.
Support, everybody.
Thanks, guys. Have a great one.
Bye.
See ya.
Yeah, stay warm.
Bye. All right.
Yeah, all of our guests are stuck in inches and inches of snow, or centimeters for the Canadians who just left us. And of course, we're joined by the lovely and wonderful Kaley and Rob. Welcome back to the show, Kaley, and welcome to the show, Rob. We're so excited to have you.
Thank you. We're excited to be here.
Absolutely.
Yep. Now, you guys are also kind of snowed in up in Connecticut, but we're so thankful that you were able to, that you have electricity, you have internet, so you're able to join us tonight.
We got about a foot of snow, and we are very happy to we're also very happy to have electricity and internet.
Absolutely.
Yes. And we're going to talk about your sailing on the Treasure, but we're also going to cover it from the concierge angle, because we know you guys are regular concierge cruisers and experts in all things concierge.
That's how we met Kaley.
That is how we met Kaley in the first place.
Yes, guys.
But we do want to talk a little bit of news before we dive into that topic, and we wanted to bring you guys on for that news segment as well. Brian, remind me, what is...
Let's do quick hits so we can have enough time to cover the Treasure experience here. So first quick hit, let me see if I can do the quick hits. First quick hit is Disney Cruise Line has announced that you will now be able to not just download your photos after your cruise, you'll be able to purchase them after your cruise. So if you don't pre-purchase or purchase on board, you'll be able to go to the DCL Photos website and purchase packages after the fact and look at your photos and decide if you want to buy it. Within 45 days of sailing, and this is only for U.S. residents, apparently. So if you're international, you may still have to purchase on board, at least for the time being. And this is effective, I believe, already. Like, I believe it went effective. It went live maybe 5 days ago or something. So this is live now. Okay. Another piece of news from the Disney Dream. Bingo and Bluey were supposed to arrive on board for different events and meet and greets in February, but they have already arrived. They got there early. I don't know. They must have flown from Australia. They took maybe a red-eye flight, or maybe they took the Concorde jet or something, but they arrived early. Man, I hope they didn't put them in little kennels underneath the plane. I hope they got first-class seats. That would just be a travesty.
First class all the way from Bingo and Bluey. But they are doing 2 events on board the Disney Dream, it appears. I mean, I can't guarantee it, but from what folks have reported, we've seen there's one event called Wakey Wakey, which is kind of a morning dance party, and it is heavily subscribed. And then they are doing an evening program called Pajama Party. Pajama spelled the kind of funny way that they spell it over in Australia, which is a P-Y jamma. But anyway, they look really cute. I haven't been able to get video quite yet, but I'm hoping from folks who are sailing very, very soon to get some video of these events. So there are some videos floating around on social media, but not as much as I want to see, I got to say. But I'm excited to meet Bingo and Bluey, but it's going to be a while because we're not going on the Dream, or I know they're on the Wonder in the Australia-New Zealand season as well.
I just want to say one thing there, which is we really appreciate all the listeners who've reached out with videos of the adventure, who are on board getting us videos of Bluey and Bingo. if you've got fun stuff happening on your cruise and you want to share it with us, you can just email it to us, and we might end up posting it on our socials, especially stuff that's new that we haven't seen before. Or we're happy to give you credit, but just a big shout out to all the folks who've been helping us out with getting video and photos of the treasure, because obviously we're like 2,500 miles away, so we can't get to Port Canaveral to get that stuff right now. But some amazing stuff has been rolling in, and I just wanted to thank the listeners out there.
And for people who ask, the more video you get me, the better. And if you're taking video, up and down, not sideways. So portrait, not landscape. And that's because Instagram.
Think Graham, not YouTube.
Thinking Graham, not YouTube. Exactly. Because that's where I'm posting those kinds of just, short videos. But
Nathan is reminding me of one more big piece of news. Go Seahawks. Thank you, Rob, for repping today. Although we lost like 5 followers after we posted congratulations. So those Pats fans out there are unfollowing us. So yeah.
No, not the Pats fans. It must have been the Rams fans.
Oh, either way. Yeah. Last big piece of news. This is going to come under the extremely rumor. We have nothing to back this up, but we are hearing there might be a new towel animal coming, and it's one that we've wanted for like a year since. So some of you may remember that Disney released that fun commercial with the dog that was the towel animal running around the ship and he misses you. Well, we are hearing that could be coming to a Mickey's mainsail near you. So we don't know when. We don't know if this is actually true, but if it happens, we expect those things to fly off the shelves. So if you see this thing on board, please let us know, because we would love to get one ourselves. And actually, I lied. There is one other additional piece of news we wanted to highlight. There are some rumors circulating as well that itinerary bookings are going to open in mid-February. We've been seeing some art and graphics. We don't know from where. So I want to be clear, we don't have any definitive information. That would track generally with the release of itineraries that we've seen in the past. When itineraries are released, itineraries are released, you can expect a show from us to break it all down, and Sleuthing Sam will go to work. But we are expecting to see some itineraries here in the next couple of weeks from Disney for a mid-February bookings to open for, I think, summer and fall of 2027 is probably what we should expect.
Well, summer. I don't think fall. I think just summer 2027.
I thought they kind of moved to a twice-a-year release schedule.
Well, that's what they said they were going to do, but I don't know if they've actually done it. So we'll see. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. We don't know. We don't know for sure what they'll release, except we know that summer has to be coming because
that's next. That's next.
Yeah, it's next. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
All right. Let's get on board the treasure. I want to hear all about Kaley and Rob's fabulous first experience with the Disney Treasure. So let me start with this. You've been on the Wish, obviously.
Correct.
How did you find that you step on board the Treasure? Were you like, wow, this is so much better than the Wish, or it's all right? Like, what did you think of the first impression of the ship?
Me? It was just different. It's a different design, different decor. I mean, we had seen some photos, so we had sort of an idea of the sort of richness in the colors that were in the Grand Hall. So some of it was expected, but to see it in real life was really amazing. It was nice to see that it was that much different than Wish.
Yeah. What about you, Kaley? How was it for you?
Yeah, I agree. I feel like when Wish first came out and everybody was sort of poo-pooing all the differences, and there was all this sort of pushback about where was the classic Disney ship that everybody knows and loves. And we love Wish. Wish is beautiful. The theming of Wish really speaks to me personally, but it wasn't until the pictures of Treasure started coming out that I appreciated Wish even more, because it just it's such a contrast point. And now with Destiny as well, I feel like it gives you an opportunity to appreciate each of them for their own individual, unique stories. I cried like a baby when we got on Treasure, and I hadn't really expected it, honestly. I mean, I do cry when we get on a cruise, but I cried for how different it was and how rich it was and how beautiful it was.
Yeah.
No, absolutely.
I think we decided that Wish was like the prettiest ship, but that Treasure felt richly beautiful in a different way, if that makes sense.
Yes. Yeah. Beautiful and pretty. Two different adjectives, but perfectly describing those two ships. That's why I still feel like if you want to have a wedding or a vow renewal, you should go on the Wish. Like that's like, it's got this like more, it's got these like just more pastel-y vibes, like that more princessy feel, right? Whereas I feel like the Treasure has, this deep richness, these jewel tones, this great theming in the grand hall, right? Like it's just perfect. Now, was this Eastern or Western Caribbean itinerary?
This was Eastern.
The best.
Okay. Of course, the best itinerary. You got the best, 7 nights in the best itinerary. Now, you guys pretty much always book concierge, right?
We do. Correct. Yes. Guilty as charged. We made the mistake of starting off our Disney Cruise Line history with concierge, and there was really no looking back for that. So
it is a hard, yeah. I mean, we go back and forth because, prices being what they are, sometimes it makes sense, we feel like, and the benefits are sufficient to make us enticed to concierge. Absolutely. And other times we feel like maybe it doesn't, maybe it's not going to make that much of a difference. But I want to talk a little bit about the booking process for concierge, because it's a little bit different. And I don't mean booking the cruise. When you book the cruise, whether that's through an amazing travel advisor like Kaley or someone else at My Path Unwinding or somebody else elsewhere versus booking with Disney, it doesn't matter whether you're booking concierge or regular. You're going through the same sort of booking process, but you do get differences in booking your activities. So Kaley, why don't you tell folks what that sort of looks like when you're talking about booking for concierge? So like your Palo brunch, your Remy dinner, Enchanté dinner, that sort of stuff.
Sure. So it is always my recommendation, whether you book with me or someone at My Path Unwinding or another agency, to work with somebody who is versed in concierge and what's available to you as a concierge guest, because there is a lot that you don't want to miss out on. You're certainly paying a premium, so it's nice to take advantage of that. A little before 130 days, the Shoreside concierge team reaches out to you and gives you just sort of touches base and gives you some information, lets you know that you're at 130 days. They'll start accepting your requests, which is a full week prior to Pearl. So there's a real advantage there to take, to get what you can book during that window, or requested, I should say. And then at 130 days, you can submit those requests. And it's for everything from port adventures, including cabanas, spa, nursery time, adult dining, really any of the things that might be going on in the ship, beverage tastings, the royal gathering, you can book as a concierge guest at that point, whereas non-concierge is not until 30 days out. So it's really the perfect time to sort of start that relationship with Shoreside Concierge or through your travel advisor to get those things put on the calendar as soon as you can.
Yeah. Now, how do you guys balance, you have all the ability to book everything, but you're also on a brand new ship. So I'm curious, Rob, how do you balance, well, how much time am I going to spend in these add-on activities or in the concierge lounge versus how much time I'm going to spend exploring all these new spaces on this new ship?
Absolutely. No, I think this time we definitely had less things booked ahead of time.
Yeah.
I think we did. Did we do any beverage tasting?
We did nothing on this. I mean, this was cruise number 15 for us. So we've done all the tastings. We've done all of these port adventures before. We've been to these ports. So we really just wanted to spend the time enjoying the ship, like Rob was saying.
And enjoying the lounge and spending the time on the sun deck there. Obviously, we had Ruby and her friend with us. So I think we definitely wanted to leave time available to do things with them and not be like, well, we have this booked. Although we did try to find some time for ourselves, which they kept dragging us to every trivia possible. So it was a lot of trivia. But just touching on the concierge thing, I think that it's important for people to realize that there's advantages on the ship. And then, of course, before you get on the ship, because you might not realize that those things are available to you to be able to book those things ahead of time. And that's, to me, as big of an advantage as the things that are available once you're on board.
Kaley, there's a good question in the chat here, because I'm always confused about this. I'm always reaching out to you like, make sure we're paid in full before our request date. But Linda in the chat is saying that she was able to submit her booking request without being paid in full. Do you have to be paid in full to submit your request?
You do not have to be paid in full to submit requests. And actually, now that they've rolled back the window, that's, I think for a 7-night, I think it's 90 days. Is that right? I should know this off the top of my head, but I always double check. And you do not have to be paid in full until that date. However, you will not be able to access or book anything for yourself through the app or online.
Oh, okay. So you can tell Shoreside Concierge to book, but you can't change stuff in the app.
Can do everything for you, but you can't do it yourself until you are fully paid.
Okay.
And you may not be able to see the activities either to know what they
believe
booked
you
for.
can see them.
Okay.
I believe you
They're
can
just
see
locked.
them.
Yeah.
You can't interact with them. They're locked for you.
Got
They're
it.
grayed out.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. So with the 130-day email, I just want to give a add to what Kaley was saying in that, and then there's 123 days for Pearl cruisers. So for Brian and I are already in Pearl status. So if we've booked concierge and we sent those requests at 130 days, at 123 days, everything will show up in the app. And actually, that's actually the case even if you're like a silver or no status. If you are sailing concierge at 123 days, everything will show up in the app. And if you're paid in full, you can then interact with those things. So you can add stuff or subtract stuff at that time yourself, which is kind of nice because you may have changed your mind, or you may have, or Shoreside may have booked you a spa appointment at a time you're like not really, you want to, you want to switch it up.
Yeah, and Ed saying he thought pay in full was 120 days, but I'm with you, Kayla. I think they changed that not too long ago. Yeah, not too long ago. Yeah. I mean, verify with Disney. Don't go off what we're saying, but verify with Disney.
Yeah, well, and these dates. The other part is the dates change. Disney's often changing things. Things like
whether it's a 7-night cruise or it's 1 to 6, or there are some differences. So just always check with Disney directly or your travel advisor.
So what I'd like to do for a second is I want to walk through some of the unique spaces on the Treasure and just get your kind of quick takes on what you thought about these new spaces that they're offering on board. Maybe I'll start with a kind of an easy one, which is the Skipper Society, which is the replacement for the Bayou on the Wish. I thought it was a pretty interesting and unique themed space, kind of a fun space. What did Kaley? Let me start with you. What did you think about Skipper Society?
We loved it. We are big Jungle Cruise fans, big Skipper Canteen fans when we're in the parks. I thought the theming was fantastic. I thought that it felt, we never really spent much time in the Bayou.
No.
And maybe just because on Wish we were on a 3 and a 4, and we had more time to sort of relax and explore on this ship. But I think it's fantastic. I thought the drinks were great. They had good coffees there. We were there for a number of trivia. So we liked it.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, when I found out that Treasure was going to bring these elements of the parks into the ship, I was definitely excited about that. So obviously Haunted Mansion we're all excited about, but Skipper Society definitely I felt like brought a little bit more than the Bayou for me, because we are such fans of that area in the parks.
Yeah. And for folks, I'm trying to remember, we speak in code. So like for folks who are new to our show and have not sailed on Disney before researching these ships, Skipper Society is kind of a central bar just off the atrium, open bar. They do a lot of trivia there, drinks. They have
it's open to kids and adults. They do beignets in the Bayou version of it. They do, I believe it's waffles in the Skipper Society version of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a multi-use space for sure. They use it for bingo. There's live music there, so it's definitely
yeah. And it's kid friendly at all hours that it's open, even though it's a bar, but it's not a bar, if that makes sense. It's not an enclosed space, it's an open space, so it's always open to all ages.
Let's head across the hall now, because Haunted Mansion Parlor. Rob, what did you think of Haunted Mansion Parlor?
Oh, it's just amazing. It's incredible. I mean, Haunted Mansion is probably my favorite ride. So we were so surprised that we were able to just walk in like 3 times.
We had no issues.
And just sit right down. And I think the first time we didn't stay for maybe the sort of whole experience, but then when we went back, we did. And it's incredible.
Yeah. We had seen the photos, we'd seen the videos, nothing compares until you're actually sitting in that space. It is so immersive and so well done.
Did you have any favorite elements out of the show?
Oh, I think it was the fish tank.
Yeah.
Because we watched the pre-show.
I thought you were going to say the bartenders with the...
Oh, that's true.
The tambourine and the bartenders making the noises. That was so cool.
But the fish tank was great because we had watched a little sort of documentary prior to boarding, and it talked about, what went into making the fish tank and how they added, what did they add?
The seahorse.
The seahorse. So we kept looking for the seahorse. Eventually we saw it. It was incredible.
Yeah.
There's lots of those little like Easter eggs that you kind of can find that might not sort of always be apparent. It's really fun. I think all throughout the themed spaces, you get that both in Skipper Society and Haunted Mansion and Periscope Pub, right? Like you have all these sort of like little hidden gems that are really fun if you could have the time to really like immerse yourself. And the great thing about, I think, Haunted Mansion Parlor, and I wasn't a fan of putting it on the Destiny, but then when I got on the Destiny, I was like, I still really love this. And so I kind of love that it's on the Treasure and the Destiny, to be perfectly honest, because those are now my like two favorites. So
I was also disappointed that they repeated it on Destiny, but I completely understand why. And I will be so excited when we do sail on Destiny to experience it there. So
I think the only problem with that bar, I feel like, is the drinks are just not great. And I wonder if that's part of the reason why people can just walk right in, because no one's really sitting there ordering a drink. I just don't think
agree. We tried some drinks, both with alcohol and without, because we had the girls with us. And they just sort of were like melted candy. Like they were very fun and the presentation was neat, but
definitely,
I think that the next time we went in, we brought drinks from the concierge lounge.
That's the super secret cheat, right? Like if you are, if you're sailing concierge from 5 to 10 in the lounge, drinks are included, and so you're not paying for it's an open bar situation. They don't have like Louis Trez, but they have like anything that kind of standard bar fare, and all good labels. And so
they do have some top shelf. They do have some top shelf.
They have some, I just mean they don't have like, I just mean they are not going to give you something that costs $1,500 a bottle, but they do have some really nice stuff in there, and you can take your drink with you wherever you go on the ship. You don't have to drink it in the concierge lounge. So that is one of the benefits. And when your drinks are too sweet at the Haunted Mansion Parlor, get a drink someplace else, whether that's the concierge lounge or whether that's Skipper Society, and just bring it with you.
Yeah. Let's complete the circle here on the Grand Atrium level, or the atrium level, and head to Scat Cat Lounge. So kind of a unique theme space, the Aristocats themed bar on board. The layout is a little different than what you would have experienced in Nightingale's on the Wish. Piano bar still.
Right.
What did you think about Scat Cat Lounge?
I'll go. I think it was like our favorite place to get a drink.
I agree.
And I regret that we only did it, I think, just the one time. Somehow we found ourselves like tucked into a little corner. Another group came and sat near us, and we sort of chit-chatted with them for a bit, but it really felt like the most comfortable, relaxing space to grab a drink before dinner.
Yeah.
I think that's when we did it, was before dinner.
Yeah, we loved it. And the drinks were fantastic. There was some really interesting.
That was
we had that Earl Grey drink that
tea.
Was so good.
So good.
Yeah, I think they've done some really even on the Destiny, some innovative stuff with that bar in terms of the drinks and the presentations. And I love the piano. I always wish it was just a little bigger, because it's the one on the Destiny is completely oversubscribed because
we were surprised that that it had the outside seating. So that's different from Wish, where there's the bar outside where you could sit and get the drink. So that helps a little with the overflow.
Yeah.
But I do imagine on Destiny, with it being Cruella's, it's tougher to find that quiet corner. Yeah.
Well, and the additional entertainment there that they had, those meet and play opportunities with Cruella. Yeah, it's tough. All right, well, let's head upstairs. One last bar to cover that is brand new to the Disney Treasure, which is the Periscope Pub.
Oh, it was amazing. That's where I watched the Seahawks 49er game. The first time we got on. It was incredible.
Oh, those are the other followers that unfollowed us, probably, Brian. It's the Niners fans.
Sorry,
not sorry. I had some friends around the ship on embarkation day, because did you have on your Seahawks, or were you just talking to everyone who had on?
No, I saw this one person younger than us, but he had on a Seahawks jersey. So I was like, go Hawks, like prior to sail away.
Yeah.
So he was like, the game's in Periscope Pub. So it was packed. 4 Seahawk fans and 24 Niner fans.
That's kind of amazing.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was very cool. And we were doing something in Sarabi, right? So I was sort of running back and forth, checking on the game, checking on you guys there. But theming wise,
we did the what is the
We did a
tour
tour,
called?
yeah.
The Walking the Treasure. I can't imagining the treasure, like the Walking the Wish, or the Art of the Theme tour. And they spent a good amount of time in Periscope Pub, and that was really fun to go in there during the day and see some of the details. And that space was really, really neat.
Yeah.
I loved the detail that all of the footage from the water and the fish came from Epcot. It was really, I thought that was a neat detail.
Yeah, the ceiling is cool. I wish the Periscope worked. We had actually heard from somebody on board that they were planning to actually upgrade that and make it do something in the future. So that
cool.
I think it'd be cool if you could look through and see the bridge cam view.
Right.
That would be really cool.
Yeah. Beth, to answer your question in the chat, the pub food is there is no food really offered in Haunted Mansion Parlor. Pub food is only in Skipper Society, in Periscope Pub and in Cask and Cannon. Did I get that right, Sam? I'm always getting it wrong.
Yes,
Cask and
Destiny
Cannon.
is Cask and Cannon. It is Periscope Pub on the Treasure, and then on the Wish, it is, remind me, oh my God, what is the name of that pub?
I can never.
It's actually one of the pubs because they didn't theme it.
Keg and Compass. Yes, I just always forget the names. But on all of the ships, the only place you can get those like that pub bar food, like the wings and stuff, is like in the pub, or in the older ships in sort of they have those late night snacks. You can get
the
some
fantasy
of those things
in the Dream Class. Yeah, the Dream Class ships have that in the near Piazza, I think it's called. The Carousel Bar. Yeah. All right. Well, you mentioned Sarabi. So I got to ask you what you thought about the Sarabi space, but I also need to know if you saw the Indiana Jones Choose Wisely.
We did.
What'd you think of the show?
It was bedlam. It was just
I love that bedlam.
The few people that walked out, I was like, maybe you're not getting it. Maybe I'm not getting it. I'm not really sure, but it really was so much fun.
Bedlam is the perfect word. It was so much fun.
It was so much fun. We had seen them earlier as Coriander and Sage, sort of doing their storytelling
in the Grand Hall.
So we loved them there, and it was crazy. It was very cool. I was definitely glad that we stayed up for it. So much fun. I remember you guys mentioning it. It's so interesting, the Wish treasure thing, at least for me. Like when we got on Wish, I was like, wait, why is this here? And why is this
about Luna? Yeah,
about Luna, and about just the whole layout compared to like Dream Class and, where we were used to things being. So I feel like for Treasure, by the time I got on Treasure, I was kind of used to things being in different places. So I felt like I enjoyed the spaces more just for the fact that I knew what to expect going into it. Yeah. So we didn't really spend this time in Luna, but we were like,
we were in
front row in Sarabi the whole time,
I mean, you weren't just front row; you were actually on stage in Sarabi. If we're telling the truth about it, I have the clips. I have the clips to prove it. I'm not sharing them on social media, but I have the clips to prove it.
Wait, I don't know what happened here. Did you do Match Your Mate or Match Your Matey or something?
We did Match Your Matey.
Oh, love it.
So Coriander and Sage were running that. I don't remember if they had a different name.
We went to Match Your Mate, and maybe were Ruby and Addie with us?
Yes.
I don't remember. And maybe they made a little bit of noise about us getting chosen, but they chose some other couples, and that was fine. And then we went to
Ruby
Match
is
Your Mate.
College age, by the way. Ruby is college age. She's not a little kid, so she can go.
Yep.
Yeah.
So they were at all the 18 plus stuff with us, and they're always rooting for us to go up. But at 25 years of marriage, you're in the middle there. You know what I mean? Like they want the newlyweds, they want the 40
they
plus
want 5
years.
years, 10
I thought we
years.
were safe, but apparently not.
But at Match Your Matey, there was no one, I think, above 15 other than us. There was the same couple that had done Match Your Mate at 40, but they were like, we're not going to choose you again. And of course, Ruby and Addie were like, pick them, pick them. We were all the way up in the balcony too. So
which does bring up a point with Sarabi and Luna that when you get called downstairs, you have to go all the way out into the elevator and the stairwell and like run down. So
they need a little spiral staircase in there just to come down.
That's a design flaw.
So it was amazing. It was so much fun. I mean, two of them we might have
They
known.
won, Brian. They won.
We won.
Yeah, we got a perfect score, which they claim they've never seen before. So we got extra treats for that. So But it was very cool. It was very fun.
We also became friends with Frank and Tim, who run this sort of entertainment. So Frank is the head of adult entertainment. Tim is sort of his sidekick. And Frank has a theater background and a number of connections to Stony Creek and our area. So we sort of made all these connections. And then once that happened, we saw him everywhere and we went to all the things. And so he was very excited that, we'd made friends and now we won with Coriander and Sage. And it was all very full circle. It was very fun.
I feel like the problem with those shows is once you're up on stage, you're celebrities for the rest of the cruise. People are like, especially with Match or Me, people are wandering around like, oh, there's the Volkswagen Bug people.
Oh, people were asking questions that were inappropriate at times related to the episode.
And Ruby was equally mortified and also really proud. She was. It was cute.
My best piece of advice if you're multi-generational cruising is don't get grandma and grandpa called up on stage because you're going to need therapy after that for a while. So yeah.
Definitely.
All right. Well, speaking of Coriander and Sage, did you catch any of their other sort of acts on board? And I mean, like, the way I look at this is like the Wish introduced the spaces, the Treasure really kind of upped the spaces and introduced the entertainment, and then the Destiny really ups the entertainment then in those spaces.
That's a good point.
Yeah, what did you think of Coriander and Sage around the ship?
Well, we saw the storytelling in the Grand Hall, and it was great. It was very cool. We regretted that we didn't end up taking a photo with them at some point because they definitely added a lot to the experience. I mean, obviously, if you're on Treasure and it's a week-long cruise, you're most likely making more connections than you would on a 3 or 4 night. Not that you can't on those cruises, because if you put yourself out there, you'll definitely make those connections with the crew and other guests. But obviously on a 7-night, and like we said, with having Addie and Ruby, they were going to even more things than we were.
If you're going to all the things, you're making those connections with the crew, which really adds something.
We did the scavenger hunt thing at one point, and I had to grab the Seahawk fan that I had met on the first day, take him from his team to help our team. So I felt a little more comfortable doing that, knowing that we had met each other already.
Yeah. It makes a big difference. I think that, there's something special about those longer cruises because of those connections that you make. You're right. The 3 and 4 night cruises, I mean, you might connect really well with your serving team, but it's not the same as like night 5, 6, and 7, right? Like you've got, they know you more. You may have talked to them about their families, right? Like all of those kinds of, it's sort of exponential. Each time you get more and more comfortable with them, they get more and more comfortable with you. And that connection becomes, so much deeper.
It's really special. It really is.
Yeah. I got to pivot over to shows because obviously that's where my heart is. You've got Moana on the Treasure. It was brand new for the Treasure. It's not on any other ship yet. It's supposed to launch on the Adventure, but who knows? I just say who knows because Adventure hasn't launched yet, and obviously it's supposed to have a whole bunch of different shows. But yeah, I got to ask what you guys thought of Moana.
I'll take shows, or we can both take shows. I mean, I'll go to every show that's available. I love the shows. I love the idea of being in the theater, seeing a movie on board while we're there. We saw Zootopia 2. I love the shows. I felt like I might have taken Beauty and the Beast a little bit over Moana. Obviously, there are amazing effects in Moana, amazing things that are done, but I was as equally blown away by Beauty and the Beast.
Mm-hmm. It's such a great... that production of Beauty and the Beast is so good. Oh my God.
We had seen that on Dream. Now, it was almost 10 years ago, but I believe it's the same version. And I remember being blown away by it on Dream, but it had been a while. And so we had watched the making of the Treasure documentary, and it was very heavy on the Moana part. Yep. So we were really excited to see some of that.
Incredible.
Come to life, and it was incredible. It really, really was. But I was taken aback by how much I was impressed by Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah. It's fantastic. Sorry, I'm just looking at the chat. On the Treasure, it's not called the Art of the Theme Show Tour. That's what it's called on the original 4 ships. It's called Imagineering the Treasure or something like that.
And it varies.
And you book it Yeah, you book it in the app. As soon as you are connected to the Wi-Fi, you can actually add it in your like onboard experiences. It's free, but you have to make a reservation, and you can actually make a reservation for everyone in your party. But I highly recommend doing it on day one, because they'll offer it several times, but it does tend to book up. And I say everyone in your party who's I think 18 plus. I believe it's an 18 plus.
And it does add to your experience to do it early in the cruise, because then you can.
Well, it helps you to navigate the ship.
That too.
Yeah, for sure.
And I should say it also changes slightly depending on who's leading the tour. They have kind of like a compendium of facts that they can give you in places they can take you, and they all kind of alter it to to be like, oh, these are my favorite spots on the ship. So it is a little different each time you take it.
Yeah, and it's about an hour, I think, is the tour, about an hour. Yeah.
And on Wish, it's called Walking the Wish. So it's available on that ship as well. I don't know if there's one on Destiny. I haven't.
There is.
There is. I believe it's called like Imagineering the Destiny or something. I mean, it's almost exactly the same title as. It might be the same. It's either almost exactly or exactly the same title, but it's something like, it's not. I'm not giving the exact correct name, but it's like something like Imagineering.
Man, they missed an opportunity there. It should have been Discovering Your Destiny. That should have been the name.
Well, but they have Destiny discovered at the end of the sailing, and they have treasure found at the end of that sailing. So they've confused us. I mean, remember, the treasure is adventure themed, but what is the adventure themed?
Yeah.
All right. So we talked Moana. Let's talk dining for a second.
Dining.
Yeah, I'm going to start with the Worlds of Marvel before we get into the more interesting topic of Plaza de Coco. You got to see the night 2 show at Worlds of Marvel.
Yes.
What'd you think? Yes. Did you like that better than the Avengers kind of?
I was confused. Yeah, I was confused because I didn't realize that there actually was a second show in Marvel. So I think when we had left, our server was like, "Oh, I'll see you in such and such." And I was saying that Addison, who's a big Guardians fan, "Oh, it's just pictures on the screen. I don't really think it's a show." So even as we got there, I was like, "Oh, this is cool." I'm definitely. It was great for Addie, who's a big Marvel fan and knows more than we do. So we loved it. It was very cool. It was really nice to have something else, a second night in Marvel for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that show better because I feel like it's a little less obtrusive to the dinner experience, and you can engage in the trivia or not engage in the trivia, but it feels like it's not quite as, I feel like if you don't watch the other one, you completely like miss it and you have no idea what's going on when obviously, was it Ultron takes over the ship?
Right.
Whereas in the Guardians one, it's a little bit more of just like it's kind of like watching a cute Mickey cartoon or something, right? Like it's just kind of not super obtrusive, but it's really cute, and it has a little like heartwarming part at the end. I really like it.
That's a good point.
Yeah, no, it was good. We liked the food. It was nice to have another menu because we had only been there the one night previously. That's true. So
at times I was about to get on Guardians of the Galaxy, the ride. During that second
the music
show,
gives Rob a little PTSD.
So I was a little taken back by that, but other than that, it was great.
That's funny. I love that. Okay, 1923. Obviously, the theming is the same, but of course, there's different displays throughout the restaurant than what you used to have on the Wish. You have different movies and different artwork and all of that. But you have a second menu. So you got the night 1 menu, which is the menu with the best filet. In main dining, I will say. But then you have the night 2 menu, which is the lobster menu. What did you guys think of that one? There's only one right answer.
I feel like everyone.
No.
I mean, yeah. I thought it was good.
I don't remember what else is on that menu, to be honest.
Gosh, there's
lobster.
I think that there's a lamb. There might be a lamb dish on that menu. Yeah, it's just not my
Wellington.
Oh, it might be the Wellington.
I love 1923. I'm a softie for Disney history and the history of animation, so I just wander that space and I intrude in people's meals, looking at the things, and so I feel like that probably factors into my saying that I liked it, but. I thought it was fine. I clearly don't remember it that well, so I wasn't blown away by it, but I wasn't offended by it.
Or taken back, yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's
okay. All right. Fair. All right. Well, I have to. Of course, the main course is Plaza de Coco because that's the one that's new for the treasure. Of course, we know it's Pride Lands on the Destiny. It's Arendelle on the Wish. So it's the one with the most theming, the most sort of show elements to it during dinner. What did you guys think of Plaza de Coco?
We loved it. I mean, Ruby and Addison were out of their minds for the musicians. It was like
they're both
comical.
musicians. They both play instruments, and
They
we had
were
a great seat as concierge guests. You often are seated right around the stage. And we actually spoke with the musicians at one point, and they all made note that they could tell that the girls were really into the music and the playing of the instruments.
I had asked our server if Ruby and Addie could possibly meet one of them. And
they arranged that.
He arranged that. We had to sort of shuffle off quickly before they went backstage, and they got to sort of like check out his instrument, and they were able to ask questions and answer questions, and it was very cool. It was a really neat interaction.
We tried one of everything on each of the nights we were there, honestly.
Wow.
I thought the food was fantastic. It was really fun to have new things to try. I think some things we liked more than others, but overall, I thought the menu was fantastic. I thought the shows were fantastic. Coco is one of our absolute favorites. So it was loud. I think that it is a loud space in that space on all three ships. But it didn't take away from the experience for me.
Yeah.
I was impressed with them having the two menus like that. I mean, it was definitely, each one was equally delicious.
Yeah. I think it's really amazing when we have these new restaurants and we get new menus, because on the 4 original ships, you really have the same menus across the fleet. And then once the Wish class came on board or launched, you had new restaurants that have completely new menus. And while there are some things I miss, and yes, I'm talking about you, Truffle Persets, but yes, I miss that. And I do love the Chateaubriand, that they have in Triton's, Royal Court, Royal Palace, right? So there are dishes that I miss from the classic ship for, menus. But there's so much new stuff. And if you've been on the classic ships a number of times, you do at some point get a little bit like, what does chef have that's new? I need something different. It can get a little tired, even when the food is really good. And your truffle persets come out hot, right? You're still like, I could try something. I could try something different. I think that's what's so great about the Wish class being, so varied across itself, right? Even though you have 2 of the same restaurants, with that third one, you get much more variety in the menus. All right. Well, what have we not hit, Brian?
Well, I want to pivot and ask a bit about the sort of the concierge lounge for a second, because it is kind of an understated Star Wars theme, if my memory serves. We've heard. I will
understated.
Yeah, I will say, Kaley, I'm curious your reaction. We've you've sailed concierge on the Wish, and now the Treasure. We get kind of mixed reviews from people who go between kind of the older ships in the fleet and the new ships in the fleet, feeling like the experience is a little bit different. Like, how did you find the experience overall with kind of the concierge hosts and the lounge and all of that?
So I obviously have paid a lot of attention to that chatter as the new ships have come out. And I had clients who felt that way about Wish, that it wasn't as great of an experience with the crew. You're not sort of getting to know your concierge team the same way. I think we're at a little bit of an advantage that each time we sailed Wish, we knew people already on the team. And so we sort of had a connection. But I will say that I think that doing the 7 night was a game changer for that, because on a 7 night, I think we sort of knew, we knew 2 people on the team well. One we had met before. And we got to know everyone on that team over the course of the 7 nights. And I was incredibly impressed, and Rob and I talked about this throughout the cruise, at how well that entire lounge team works together.
Absolutely.
And it's not just your hosts that are at the stand. It is everyone who works collaboratively to make that experience really special. And we spent time with everyone from the bar servers to the the people who were sort of serving the food and clearing the tables and stocking the continental area,
Right.
and everyone. It was really, we were very impressed with our experience with the team.
But from my little bit of knowledge, I feel like they've figured that out since Wish Class first came out. I feel like all of that initial pushback about the lounge and how it's different and it's too many guests for the number of hosts, I feel like they've brought in the support staff necessary to make it a better experience than maybe when they first launched Wish Class.
It's not just hosts and servers the way that it sort of has been for years. It's like a collaborative team where everybody can help you with anything you need, really.
Yeah, I mean, the support.
And they actually restructured how the team works within Disney. It used to be that the servers and the bar staff reported to like the culinary or whatever, the dining. Yeah, they reported to dining, and concierge was more kind of reporting through guest services, guest relations, and now they've actually changed it so that instead of them reporting to separate like entities, they are now their own collaborative team. And so all the members of that team, while some of those folks have come from those dining backgrounds or those guest relations backgrounds, when they become a part of the concierge team, they are now a part of that team as like a standalone that I believe reports up through like guest relations or something, even though they liaise with dining.
Absolutely.
And I think that has changed it. Yeah, I think that's changed the dynamic. And that was after Wish launched that happened. It's, I think it might have even been after Treasure launched. It might be more in the last year or 9 months or something. But I know there was that shift because I remember talking to some of the hosts about that change. And the hosts were really happy about that because they felt like it made, like they could lean on the serving team more and the serving team could lean on them more. And there were less sort of defined roles as to who could do what and stuff like that.
I think the biggest benefit to the lounges on the Wish Class ship is that you have that private kind of, it's not a pool, but you kind of have that private sun deck area with access to the hot tubs and loungers and all of that sort of stuff. Yep. They kind of did that a little bit when they upgraded the Wonder concierge area, but not with any sort of, water feature. And it feels like on the fantasy class, they're trying to do it, but it's like an afterthought as opposed to like it being purpose built. And so I love that. I mean, on the crowded days on the pool deck, you can go to the concierge lounge and just kind of lay out and have a nice day. So I love that feature of those lounges on the Wish Class ships.
Yeah, it's a really nice. I agree with you. And the hot food menu is obviously so nice. I mean, we would always do sit down breakfast on the classic ships because we just like to sort of take that time in the mornings. And I don't think we did it once on this cruise because we were so happy with the hot breakfast in the lounge.
Yeah.
We didn't get our room, but
and you can get like all the great items. Like you can get the Mickey waffles or Mickey churro waffles. You can get an egg sandwich. You can get like there's all this stuff that you can get in the concierge lounge only on the Wish Class. That are, at all meal times, really. There's like a menu for breakfast.
Many of which we learned are directly from Palo, including the Palo lasagna that is on the kids' menu for dinner one night.
I think it's Wednesday.
As a pro tip.
Yes.
Well, that's why somebody commented in the chat that the churro waffles in the lounge are better than the ones at Marceline. There you have it. They're being made in Palo. So yeah.
They take, I don't know. But they're made to order, and they made Rob gluten-free ones. They didn't bat an eyelash about it.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know that it's that it's being made in Palo. It's that everything's being made to order, right? Yeah. Fresh. So it's not the same as the mass what is being made in Marceline, and it's not sitting out for a long period. I mean, when you think about Marceline and you think about the dining rooms, that's a huge catering operation. This is not like your small restaurant like Rob runs, right? But when you're talking about the concierge lounge, you're talking about like a mom and pop restaurant that is making food for you, right? So the quality is always going to be better in that smaller amount.
All right, Sam, I got 2 questions left to kind of take us out here because we're running up on time. One is Beth asked in the chat early on.
I knew you were going to ask this question. It's a great question. I have an answer, but I think we should all answer this question.
Well, can I get the question out first?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. All right. I'm wondering which ship or itinerary can you get the most value out of concierge. I also have an answer, but Kaley, do you have any thoughts about that? Is there any sort of value or deal to be had in concierge right now on Disney Cruise Line?
Deal to be
Not
had.
deal. No, not deal. I don't think that's the question, Brian. It's like, but what
Value.
right? Where do you get the most for your dollar?
I will be honest that I can argue any ship, any itinerary. I think there's value on a 7-night for concierge. I think there's value on a 3-night when your time is more limited. I think there's value on the bigger. I think there's extraordinary value on the Wish class ships because it is a bigger ship and it gives you a more intimate experience. I think that's Rob's.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I love it on Magic and Wonder also. I mean, I truly, I will argue it in any direction.
I will say my personal answer is the places where I found the most value out of it: Alaska, Norway, and I think we're gonna be gunning for concierge on this DVC member cruise because it's gonna have some unique excursions, and so like getting to jump the line on everyone else on board to be able to get on these excursions. Some of those excursions, like the helicopter tours, that exclusively go to concierge, right? So I think if there's like something really, it's a unique itinerary and there's something you really want to do that's just really going to like seal the deal for you on that itinerary from an excursion standpoint, I think like concierge is the way that you guarantee that you're going to get your spot.
Great point.
Yeah. It's like we talked about the advantages prior to cruising are just as good as being on the ship.
Yeah,
exactly. Which is why I'm going to make the argument that unless you're getting a great port deal for an upgrade, right, then booking concierge at the last minute is like your least value. I'm not saying there isn't some value. There's still value to the onboard amenities, but I would say it's a lower value because you didn't get that benefit of the early booking. I'm going to piggyback on what Brian said because I was going to say Alaska specifically, I think is great for getting those hard to get excursions. And I say that even as a Pearl cruiser, I would say that as obviously as a Silver cruiser or somebody with no Castaway Club status, that would be even a larger benefit. But I also say if getting a cabana is really essential to you, really important to you, particularly whether that's Castaway or Lookout, I would obviously concierge is the way, your best chance. There's not a guarantee, although I think with Castaway, with the new.
It's a game changer. We had a Mickey and Minnie cabana on Castaway, and it is a game changer. We booked as concierge. We actually were assigned 2 cabanas because we had 2 rooms. So Ruby got one and we got one, which we let go. But 3 days after Pearl was open, there were still Mickey and Minnie cabanas available to book.
Yeah. I think that changes the equation. So, but that means if you're concierge, you're almost guaranteed a cabana at Castaway. You still might be sort of lottery at Lookout. And of course, on the smaller ships, you generally have a better chance. But like if you're a lower Castaway Club status and that a cabana is really important to you, then the only way to jump the line is to be in concierge. The other part I would say is if the shows are really important to you, if where you sit and you don't want to wait for an hour or more outside of the theater, you do get that early access to the theater, which for me is always, a very important benefit.
Yeah. I did want to address, Nicole, your comment is a good one. Value is very dependent on personal choice. 1,000%. And we will be the first people to tell you we have sailed concierge, we have sailed non-concierge. And for us, it is very much like a personal decision. It's not something we book every time. And we always tell people you will have a fantastic time on a Disney cruise, even if you're not sailing in concierge. So yeah, there's some things that Disney offers, that they do just to be perfectly honest with everybody out there. They book up to concierge folks. And that's it's a pay to play system at this point. So
it's the same at the parks.
Yeah. And Dennis, I 1,000% agree. Our Alaska sailing, we would book concierge again in a heartbeat for all of the unique experiences that they offered us on that sailing. So 1,000%.
But we would also book it non-concierge if we couldn't book it concierge. Because Alaska is amazing. So 1,000%. Highly recommend.
All right, Kaley, Rob, before we wrap up, I got to ask my favorite question. I got to ask my favorite question. What's next? Where are you guys headed next?
Oh, what are we doing next?
Our next big trip, well, we're sailing in the retreat on Celebrity, actually, in April, which we're really excited about.
that.
Yeah, and you don't know this yet, Kaley, but you're coming on the show with Karen to talk about it.
Oh, that's so exciting.
But not Rob. Rob's not invited.
No,
although I'm pro Celebrity.
That's true.
Yeah,
we sailed Celebrity. It's been a long time, though. And then our next with Disney is we have an Adventures by Disney Rhine River Cruise. We're doing the food and wine this fall. So we're really excited about that.
That's going to be fantastic.
I'll say we'll get the ship warmed up for you, Kaley.
We're so disappointed that we can't do the cruise with you guys, but the summer is just impossible with our restaurant. So we would do it in a heartbeat. It's going to be so much fun.
We will miss you, but we completely understand. So well.
And listen, you can rep the hat on ABD even if you're not sailing with us.
Well, Kaley, Rob, as always, it has been so much fun to catch up with you.
You got to ask one question, which is your favorite ship now? Because now you haven't been on the Destiny, but you've been on all the others. So you have to tell me which one's your favorite ship now.
I'm still going to go Fantasy just because it's sentimental.
I think it's Fantasy for me as well. Fantasy with Wonder as a close second. Wow. I love the Wish Class ship, but my heart is with those two classics.
All right, fair enough. Our first ship.
Our first ship.
A big thank you to Kaley and Rob for coming on, and it's always fun to catch up with you. We will be back next week at our regularly scheduled time, 5:30 p.m. Pacific, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, and we will be joined by Sam.
Blair.
Blair.
Blair. Yeah. So Fab IVF Mama on Instagram. She is amazing. She went on her first Disney cruise in December, and she had reached out and tagged us in some Instagram stories that she prepared for her cruise by listening to our show. And I was like, well, you got to come on and tell us how it went and
tell us where we got it wrong.
What you learned and where, what we didn't prepare you for, what we did prepare you for. So we're going to hear from Blair next Monday. Super excited to have her on the show. We've been interacting on Instagram for a while now, and she's just fabulous. So yeah, I'm super excited.
So with that, we will just thank everyone out there for listening, for watching. Again, I'll
stay warm.
Yeah, stay warm. Again, I'll plug, if you are listening to us after the fact, you can always head over to YouTube, watch the fabulous video that we put out. Join us live each week, and you can ask your questions, and we will answer them in the chat as we did this evening with the live chat. And with that, Kaley, Rob, thank you so much for joining us. And to everyone
and find Kaley, find Karen on all the socials, Kaley at My Path Unwinding.
All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Thanks, guys.